Hey YouTube, Gordon Miller here. Okay, so I have caught probably more hell for what's going to be in this video already from you folks from my introductory video, video number 62. And that's where I said, you know, I went ahead about a month or so ago and I invested in Bitcoin. And everybody immediately goes, whoa, wait a minute. You told us not to invest in Bitcoin. And now you're making all this money on Bitcoin. Don't you think that's kind of hypocritical? So first of all, I said that Bitcoin is dangerous, it's volatile, and it's not a way to build long-term wealth. Now, all of those three things are true. There is nothing wrong with any of those statements. The problem is that, you know, for me at least, I mean, I bought $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. And I bought in at about $5,600, so it's about, you know, 2 Bitcoin. The and right now, let's see, what is it today? I don't know. I haven't even checked. So let's find out. So as of this video, whoa. All right, so Bitcoin is at you know, at 8,200. Wow. So, shit. So anyway, I bought $10,000 of Ethereum at 280 some bucks. And it looks like it's at 365. And I bought Bitcoin at 5,600, and it's at 8,200. So, you know, how do I sleep at night? Actually, I sleep at night pretty well. But what I wanted everybody to understand is that Bitcoin, when it took the big dive after the hard fork didn't happen, you know, everybody wasn't sure that that wasn't going to be the end of Bitcoin right then and there. And I'm glad it wasn't, you know, because, you know, I would have lost all my money. But ironically, Ethereum started gaining ground as Bitcoin was losing. And I realized that what's actually happening in this environment is likely going to continue for at least the next 12 to 18 months. After that, you know, it's anybody's guess as to what's going to end up being, you know, what's going to happen. My concern has always been that this is based on nothing. Everybody that I respect in the world of finance and business says that it's a scam. And I believe it's a scam. I believe it's, you know, the guy that invented Bitcoin or invented blockchain, you know, has 1 million Bitcoin himself. And so nobody even knows who he is. So for me, the thing that separates the casual investor in Bitcoin and the people that think they're going to get rich off of it. And let's understand, right now the projection is that Bitcoin may go to between $500,000 a coin to as much as $1 million a coin. And that may happen. And if that's the case, then my $10,000 investment in Bitcoin will be worth between $1 million and $2 million. Okay, well, that's great. The trouble is that that's not a long-term sustainable model, and you don't know if it's ever going to get there. And there's a lot of volatility along the way. It's not a way to generate money. You can't even take money out of it. So it's not like it's going to create a revenue stream for you. You still have to eat. So I may have to leave it in there for the next 5 or 10 years. And I could easily lose at any time. Excuse me. McDonald's, unsweet tea, 0 calories. So for me, part of the problem is with Bitcoin is that the it's so unpredictable. It may go. I think it's going to hit $10,000 a coin before the end of December. So buy now. I mean, which means that it's going to go up, 10, 15, maybe even 20% or more. It may go up another 20, 25% between now and the end of December. So it's $8,200 right now. I would go buy. But I want to make sure you understand, there are people out there who are maxing out their credit cards, paying their minimum payments so they can buy $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, hoping that it's going to go up so much in value that they can make the payments on their credit cards and they'll be able to justify that. That's not a recipe for building wealth. That's a recipe for disaster. You miss a payment, you default on the credit card, you are at 39.99% interest, and understand that, that introductory rate of 0% may sound great, but at the end of that, you have to, the interest rates will continue going up on that. And while Bitcoin has been going up very aggressively, it can't go up that quickly. It can't keep going up that much. And even if it does, let's say it does, and it goes up and up and up. Let's say it's going 40% a year, which is insane. If you default on the credit card because you were late on one payment, then you're 29.99% or 34.99%. Your net margin on the increase in Bitcoin is going to be 5%. It just doesn't make any sense. So when I told people not to invest in Bitcoin, I meant it. And I still think that if you can't afford to lose that money, then don't buy Bitcoin. Don't buy Ethereum. Don't buy any of the others, for God's sake. But I bought Ethereum because I believe in the platform. I think that they have something that Bitcoin does not. And I think that the long term, Ethereum is a technology play on the platform. And I think we're going to see a lot more solutions based on the Ethereum blockchain. And I hope so. And those guys are open to it, and we know who they are. So I think that that gives us some opportunity. But I also know that the things that are coming, the things like Ali Al-Shamsi and I are working on, threaten to undermine the current status of cryptocurrency. If we're successful in 2018 in launching what we plan to do, it will completely undermine all of the other alt currencies and cryptocurrencies out there. And I don't say that lightly. I'm not bragging. I'm not even making a prediction. I'm just saying that if we're successful in doing what we think we can do, that Bitcoin will be worth zero, and that means all of you get wiped out. And me, I don't mind investing $10,000 in Bitcoin, and if it ends up being worth $1 million, then great. Even if it ends up being worth $100,000, great. But $100,000 is not going to change my life, and it really won't change yours either, even if you think it will. And even if it goes to $500,000 or even $1 million, $1 million isn't as much money as you think it is. You can't quit your job and sit home and watch television or play video games with $1 million in the bank. You just can't survive forever, 40 years, based on just $1 million bucks, or even 40 years. I mean, you're going to live to be 80 if you're 20 or 30 right now. That's 50 or 60 years. So you have to be able to have a long-term strategy for being able to achieve wealth that isn't hoping and praying, this thing goes to the stratosphere. I really don't think that that's a great strategy long-term. For me, it means that if I'm wrong and we're not able to disrupt the cryptocurrency market with what Ali and I are doing, then Bitcoin will continue to go up in value. What we do may even drive Bitcoin up in value more. Who knows? But what it does do for me is I will gladly lose all $10,000 if I'm building $1 billion worth of value in what Ali and I are working on. So for me, understand, when I tell you, look, I bought Bitcoin, I bought Ethereum, part of it is a matter of I didn't want to do these videos and say, I think that this is bad. It's easy for people that have no stake in the game to say, it's bad, and everything else. I didn't want to do that. So I have my own money at risk. It's my personal money. And I went ahead and bought, Ethereum first, and then I bought Bitcoin. It took longer to process the Bitcoin transaction. So, I think that both of them are likely to continue to go up over the next 12 to 18 months. But understand that long-term, it is not a long-term strategy. I do not think that you should, plan on funding your retirement because Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million and a coin, and you're holding 2 coin. If you are, then great. Hey, look, 2 coin. If you bought it a while ago, then great. I was at lunch the other day, and the waiter who was waiting on us said he was in college at the time, a few years ago, and he had some buddies that wanted to go in and buy some Bitcoin. They were going to buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, and so at the time he said the Bitcoin was $20 a piece. So $1,000 divided by 20 is 50 Bitcoin. So at 50 Bitcoin, at the current price, is $420,000. So this kid would not be waiting tables, likely. He would have $420,000 in the bank if he had done that. So I'm sure he wishes now he had done that, and taken $1,000 and put it in there. Now you can't take $1,000 worth of Bitcoin and hope to turn it into something. You'll be lucky if $1,000 worth of Bitcoin right now is going to be worth $10,000, and it may eventually be worth $100,000. But then $100,000 is good to have, but again, it's not going to change your life, and you have to liquidate your position too. So Bitcoin could go to $10 million a coin, and then you would have lost all the additional upside you would have had. So it's hard to say. So understand that when I came out in my other videos against Bitcoin, I still don't think that Bitcoin is a wealth building strategy. But if you have $10,000 or $1,000, or even like my son, so my middle son is 15, and he has some money in the bank from Christmas and birthdays and stuff like that. And I asked him, I said, have you been tracking this? Would you be interested in doing something with some of that? And he said yes. So $200 of his money went into buying Ethereum and Bitcoin. He only has $100 of each, but it's something. And his $100 or his $200 total, may be worth $2,000, or one day it may be worth $20,000. So when he goes to college, it may be helpful for him. But at least it's been teaching him a lesson. I mean, he has over $1,000 in his account, so $200 is 20%. I don't think anybody should put more than about 10% of whatever your total holdings are in anything, whether it's gold or Bitcoin or whatever it is. So I think that's a safe bet. If you want to bet that this is going to go up and you can afford to lose the money you're going to put in, then by all means do it. I know that, having done the research and looking at this very carefully, I knew that I wanted to monitor what this is doing and have some stake in the game at the same time. So anyway, I really appreciate it. I appreciate you all watching through the video. Please like and subscribe. I've got a lot of different topics going on. If you want to subscribe to my Patreon account, I'll put the link in the description. I'm doing some individual consulting group discussion type things where I'll be taking questions live and doing different things. So it gives me an opportunity to be able to work with each of you in a variety of different ways. And I look forward to exploring how some different ways in which we can do things together and have this make sense. So anyway, thank you very much. Good luck if you're going to buy Bitcoin. If you like and subscribe, put some comments in the bottom as to whether or not you bought Bitcoin and what you bought it at and where you think it's going to go. I'll be curious to see what you guys had to think. All right. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later. Bye.